It's kind of like I would like I'm sure you've heard some of the comparisons like VRChat's like a a physical almost like representation of like an online form almost. You've got people who are supportive, but now you've got that kind of a little bit more in-depth interaction, more of that face-to-face and body language.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and our guest is.
Torch, hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for joining us, Torch. We appreciate your time
Well,
speaking with us.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, we appreciate you being here.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, what is it you do here in the virtual world?
Well, my question is, what is it you think I do here just based off of what you've seen?
Hmm. Initially, I thought you were either head staff or ran the project community. Is what I thought, and I didn't know much, but I saw you there, and I saw your name in a lot of places. Like, you know what? I'll send it a message and see what you say at that point. Worst, I'll get to know.
So, I am a media team member at Project Community, primarily a camera operator and stream engineer for the events.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you see the broadcasts and whatnot, we'll be broadcasting with a camera team, usually through VRCDN. So everybody's feed is going, online, and then I receive the feed, or whoever else is going to be the showrunner or stream engineer that day.
Hmm.
Also, camera operator and stream runner for Reznov's Rack Pack Improvs.
Okay. So my question for you then is, how did you get into VR and into those positions?
My first introduction to just the whole getting like really enthusiastic actually was um, seeing the PlayStation VR, the first one,
Hmm.
and what was it? I There was a demo at one of the stores nearby, and I tried it. I'm like, oh, I gotta get this, and it was great. It was like this is what I've been looking for. Next um, stuff that would be like a little bit more engaging in the video gaming space. Um, but it wasn't as cracked up as I thought it was going to be when I finally get it. It was like just tech demos or small games and things like that, just on the PlayStation VR. Eventually, when I saw the Rift S and the Quest, I was like, okay, there's that. And May 2019 is when I actually started getting into VRChat here. Um, and then I just started, exploring as most people would do with public lobbies and exploring worlds. And I happened to come across a creator named Wishes who has a Disneyland or Disney World park here in VRChat. And he happened to be in his world. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then from there, developed a friendship with him, and I stopped in on him while he was doing or attending an VRChat improv at the time was called. And from there, I became, started attending that regularly, and then became involved with that group. They were invited to help out with VRCon or do a show for VRCon the first year,
Hmm.
and I got invited to help out with VRChat Improv,
Hmm.
and from there was a community manager for that group. It became Gob's Improv Emporium.
Hmm.
Um, from there was some, let's just say, difference of opinion in management, and I ended up leaving that group, and then was brought on for VRCon's media team to help out with their camera operations and live streaming and just general media production.
Hmm.
And then from there, again with VRCon, something happened with the upper levels. I don't know what, and then Project Community happened, and here I am essentially.
Okay. So my question, I guess, is now is what is the project community for those who don't know?
So, Project Community is an event organization where we try and bring to light all of the various different active communities, events, or just activities within the VR space, specifically VRChat. Um, just this past at the end of June, we had the festival for communities, content creators, asset creators, and whatnot, just showcasing their booths and activities. And then at the end of September, it was Project Lens, which was a film festival.
Hmm.
And then, just at the end of October here, we collaborated with HorrorCon to help bring that back for this year and make sure that that happened and everybody had a great time. And now we're going to be taking a break for the holidays. But the next agenda, hopefully, we might. I can't say for sure what it is, but there's been talk of, an event focused around VRChat's avatar creators and developers, prefabs, things like that.
Hmm. Okay. That's actually pretty impressive that there's a community like that in VRChat that goes to showcase people's work. Because there's a whole lot of stuff to see in here. I've only scratched the surface in the last couple of years myself. I would say not till this year I knew filmmakers in VR was a thing.
When I was left, what you call it, Gob's Improv Emporium, and in between VRCon, I actually was working on a document to try and find all of those different communities in VRChat. Just so because I don't know if you've seen a lot of the community comes from the Quest side, which was they all had to get a Facebook account. So there's a large number of people still in Facebook groups, which is chaos and madness. And so I was hoping to get in a spreadsheet or something together so I could help the people on there who are constantly looking for something to do. They're always just like, hey, let's meet up. What's going on? I'm bored, and try and get them integrated into the Discord servers and the other activities that I see here in VRChat, because those who are already here, we know what's going on. We know how to get around a little bit better than most, but others who are just say it, going into the Black Cat, Murder Floor, they're not really. You have to know someone, and then I did with Wishes. Eventually I got integrated into all of the things that have been happening and whatnot. And that data sheet ended up being a little too much for one person, so I kind of just left that on the back burner. And it seems like I don't know if you've seen the website VRC lists.
Yeah, I've heard about VRC
it's like
lists.
Nova is pretty much taken up that and just letting people put their communities and events on that website, not just the world's now.
Yeah, it's because I remember hearing of VRC lists, but I didn't hear of it till recently. The next most recent events list I heard of is when we did the VR Japan tours, where Japan has that massive calendar of things to do. So it's good to see there's another thing out there for everyone else, I guess. VRC lists and things of that nature is an amazing resource for people. That, and if you're in the new communities like Questies, look at people's bios as groups. Each groups have Discords and stuff. So you don't necessarily have to
Right.
be led into a thing. Just look at groups, figure out if there's anything that interests you, and usually one of them's running something. Well.
Yeah. The groups thing was definitely a big, help for us because now we can like moderate the instances so much easier. We used to operate with I'm sure you've seen at one point maybe the somebody with like a host account or something like that.
Yep.
Now you don't necessarily need that anymore because now you can just give somebody moderator roles and things like that for instances, and yeah, nobody has to have like maybe two computers running at once or something.
Yep. When I've heard the group system was an amazing use. How have you guys over at Project used groups? Has that been a good resource for you?
Definitely, we can get groups together that again we can now moderate the instances so much easier. We can open several different public instances, and each one can be moderated safely for everyone. And we can make sure like certain now with the instance queue, and there's priority. We can make sure that if somebody crashes, like a panelist or something like that, they can get in a lot easier.
Okay, that's good to know. What kinds of things did you guys in Project have in prior? Like what any group specifically? I guess is a question because I've only seen like that one you did with Lens, and I was there for a couple. I'm a bit blind to a lot of these things, so I'm sorry.
What do you mean, like different events and whatnot,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
activities, or?
all of the above. I'm very
Okay,
blind
so
to the whole this side of VRChat personally. I've lived very much first few years living under a rock, hanging out with people like Raptor here, hanging out in public instances, and it wasn't until this year I started venturing out and seeing different things. So I may seem like I'm very lost, I guess.
no, it's
That's why I ask.
that's the thing. It's
Yeah,
like
your
I
toll
feel
bridge
like
is open.
Indeed.
We understand the truck. You forgot somebody you finally got to pay your toll. Yeah, I know how it's like. Yeah. It's a real bitch when they
well,
only
I
give
feel
you
like
50 cents.
there's so many different avenues that you can come from just anywhere, and nobody can intersect, and yet you intersect also at the weirdest points, like the another part of I know I'm going a little off topic there, but as far as the improv groups go, like I got it. I met Dust Bunny and through the VR Dance Academy there, because she would attend the Gob's Improv or VRChat Improv. And that's how I got to know her and everybody there. And well, not I haven't gotten a chance to attend a dance lesson, just scheduling, but the got to meet Joe Hunting, the director of the we met in VR chat, or we met in virtual reality and whatnot, and that's been fantastic. Sorry, where were we before? Like, oh yeah, events. Okay. So before the festival, VR Horror Con and Project Lens, our first official event was the Graffiti Grab back in April, where we got together with teamed up with some world creators and took in like an egg prefab, or it's a graffiti can, but it was shaped like an egg, and gave it to them to hide amongst these worlds that they've created. I know one of them was the movie and chill world. I forget all of them, but it's like that was the movie and chill world was one. There was one who made a specific Easter egg world that had some of them in it, and then the Jet Set festival world, the Quest compatible version. I know Lakuza put some eggs in there. That was pretty fun. Just kind of grinding around and trying to hunt down the eggs there.
Oh.
But before that, we all came, for the most part, most of us came from VRCon.
Okay. So, what is VRCon? Also, the Gob's Improv as well.
So VRCon was back when COVID put everybody on lockdown. It shut down all the conventions, and the owner Fizzy or VRChat was like, hey, why don't we put a convention in VR? And so that was his idea, and got people together to do VRCon for the first year. And it's just kind of a celebration of all the people that make things happen, make, assets, just make, VRChat come alive with all of these different communities. Um, and after the first year, it just started growing, and, it was really fun to, at that point, I was still part of the Gob's Improv Emporium, and, was helping them promote the booth when the event was going on. It was really fun. And so then Gob's Improv Emporium was a improv group, theater improv that would get together usually pretty weekly for a workshop, and then also put on a show, sometimes bi-weekly or at the end of the month, of improv show in the style of, if you've ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyways?
Oh yes, that's a fantastic show. You've seen it?
Yes, it is. Watched it a lot. Tons of times, yeah. Out of the hat, please. We're going to pick one out of the people have said and put it in the hat. Yeah. I love that one.
Wow, that's actually pretty awesome. I didn't know groups like that existed in here. Oh, I'm learning new things.
George, are they still doing the setup like with the conventions and stuff like that? Are they still doing it in here, or have they just put it on the back burner?
So I can't speak on the behalf of VRCon. I don't know anymore. Project Community, we're still on board. We're just, again, taking the holidays off now. We need some time off after, like, nonstop activities. I mean, the festival, then the film festival, and then Project HorrorCon. That was just back to back to back, and we're exhausted.
That's understandable.
So I have a question. How much does it? What does it take to plan events like that?
I mean, I learned, at the beginning of January when, we were getting Project Community off the table. You got to do branding. There's event coordination. There's media creation. And then building the backbone for like all of us to use, like an internal system for some of our assets and whatnot. There's just so much communication that needs to happen, and teaching a lot of training for people who are not familiar with like working in teams for the camera work here, or using the like VRC lens if you have it and whatnot. And then again, establishing the connections with the different communities to make these things happen. It's I only see so much from the media side, but I imagine there's just so much more that goes on with the event coordination, the planning of the schedules, and again, the just whatever all the directors have to handle with the social media presence and whatnot.
Okay, so what kind of planning does it take for your part as the media with the media coordination?
Like, if we know of an event, then we'll try and get together with that group that is like putting it on and doing a little advertisement for it. And that goes into sometimes a pre-show, or cutting it down for Twitter for like 2 minutes or less or whatever for a promotion for that. Then like scheduling it out for trying to figure out when's the best optimal time to post on Twitter. And then like media team is like regularly meeting every week, so we're always like up to date. Except for now that we're on a break, we're going a little less. For the most part, right now, we're the arts and graphics team is working on some things for I believe the website is still being built up, so like backgrounds and images. We did a little bit of a photo shoot for just to get some colorful avatars in there and whatnot.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's was interesting to be a part of for that.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. Sorry if I'm blanking out on things.
Oh, no, it happens to me and Raptor all the time, particularly me. I have one of those funny brains where I have a billion thoughts at once and it's like shoveling an entire crowd into a doorway. It's like, cool, lots of things, excitement. What was I talking about? It happens all the time, I understand.
I don't got nothing to say. It's true. It's true, folks. It's always true. Believe him. He's selling the truth. He goes, or go, brain whimper. So we go through it all the time, George. More him than me.
Yep, I'm the one with 3 brain cells.
I got the marble rolling across the plane, but nobody picks it up for me. Just steps on it. It's a bitch to dig it out of the dirt.
Okay. After you were, who pulled you into project to begin with? May I ask? How did that happen?
It was more of a who pulled me into VRCon, and that was there was an open position. They were looking for media team members, and me and my friend applied for it, and we both got in. But the one who put out the post, I believe, was Jose Kage. She's one of the directors, and for project community, it was pretty much just our team leads from VRCon says, "Hey, we're doing this now." I'm like, "Okay, you guys, I love working with the team, so." And my arm just broke. Okay.
Okay. So,
But yeah, I just kind of stuck with them. Yeah.
So VRCon became Project Community.
No. VRCon is still its own thing. Like I said, I don't know what's going on there. But the team that I worked with, we moved over to Project Community.
Okay. So, do you know at all how Project Community started, like in the beginning? Have you heard any rumors of that?
Well, our first event again was the Easter egg hunt, the graffiti grab. So that's, and I don't know if I think I sent you that video, the what is Project Community. I think I sent you. I don't remember if I did. If I didn't, then I'm sorry. But yeah, was like the first big promotional material that we put out to get the ball rolling, and then the Easter egg event happened, or graffiti grab, and then the festival, and so on.
Okay. All right. In the process, have you learned any things about VRChat or the communities? Well, working with VRCon, HorrorCon, and Project Community.
I'll stump him like that. Wow, Lion, you really put him in a fucking pickle. Holy
Did
crap.
Oh,
I?
it's just. It's hard to say. I mean, I guess learning all the working as a team, working the camera work has been pretty awesome. Again, what goes into building up a brand has been eye-opening experience there. Like how much work and how much passion that these people have to dedicate their time and just volunteer. That nobody right now is. No, nobody's getting paid to do this. We're all just sinking our time and our own money into it. So, and it just, again, there's weird, just from all different corners of VRChat, we don't know who's connecting where and whatnot. I know I didn't mention it before, but I also attended if you've ever heard of the No Friends Friends Club. which is a group that helps out with those who have problems making friends, just or social anxiety in general, and whatnot. There, and they're fantastic for if you're just getting into dipping your toes into VRChat and just trying to make a few friends, and it's without the necessarily the trolls that you run into in the public areas.
Mm. So, how long has this No Friends Friends Club? Because you've never mentioned it to me, at least, or you may have, and I'm just free brain celled and one got away.
No, I've been kind of taking a break due to my own, just trying to juggle so much at once. I've been kind of taking a break with them, but I think around I want to say 2021 they've been around.
Oh wow.
Maybe I could be wrong. You'd have to ask the owner, OK Kuro, who's he's very, you know, keeps a lot track of a lot of important dates with that club.
Well, I will say this amongst everything you, the project community, does. Even though no one's paid, it's people such as yourselves that give VRChat such amazing things to do and see. Like, one thing I've learned this last year talking with people, so much people in here do so many amazing events for fun or to give people things to do. And I never thought so many people would put so much effort into all of this stuff. Like, it's some people in here treat it like a job, and then they're just doing it because they enjoy it. And it just always baffles me. Like, when we talk to a lot of the club scenes, it just baffled me how many different positions they have, how do those function, the communications and the project community and VRCon. Just, my brain just for fun, and it's impressive that all of you, the entire teams, run those things, because I don't think I could even comprehend half of how to run those things.
I don't think I can either. At least at the higher, at least not yet. I don't have that experience yet. Maybe eventually, but I'm content just keeping track of things behind the camera. That's enough for me. I mean, when I'm not focused on a task and there's a bunch of people, I'm like, oh God, there's people. Get away from me.
Fair. So, what do you use for your camera setup in VR? Like, what recording software, and how do you get prepared for your recording sessions?
I just use the OBS for the most part. I just get make sure that we're matching our profile information on there, like what frames we're capturing at. If there's problems with the audio capture, things like that. Because occasionally you open up OBS and I'm like, huh, VRChat's not capturing it's not capturing the VRChat audio. Why? Why?
I definitely don't know how those errors happen. I am perfect in every way.
Shit! Bullshit! Sorry. I got some dust.
Yeah, like
Sorry,
with
folks.
the Rack Pack Improv on Sunday nights. While the improv actors are doing their warm ups, I'm making sure OBS is running and I'm getting my camera angles set up and everything like that while they're doing their thing. So yeah, just make sure. I would rather be early and make sure everything is prepared than just kind of not show up or show up late or just on time.
So, what has been some of the hardest things for you to learn in this entire media engineer presence you've had here in VRChat?
Maybe not necessarily something media related. It's just more of the, I guess, the social politics of things and whatnot. That's always been the and also the what you can and can't use in your media thing, like copyrighted materials and and just IP things. And that's actually one of the hurdles we faced during Project Lens, and we weren't sure how to overcome it initially. Was at first, there's a lot of film producers and directors and whatnot in VRChat. Okay, hip. And
Or
a lot of them use material, especially audio that is copyrighted and whatnot. And VRCDN, where we're broadcasting through and then to Twitch, goes through. VRCDN is a lot more strict with DMCA stuff.
Mm.
So we were about to say, when we initially, said some things, we said, okay, no, if you're going to submit a film, no copyrighted anything, and that kind of limited us. So eventually, we just said, hey, you know what? We'll just stream the panels of the Q&A, and we won't stream the films themselves.
Mm. Okay. And
So that was a good compromise there.
okay. Were you able to get through that okay for a project and a point where everyone is happy with what came out of it?
Second, let me make sure.
Oh, of course.
Buddy, why you do this to me, buddy?
Because a lot like Fallout 4, the full body tracking system just works. I know.
what they call it.
Well,
I just say that somebody just forgot to oil the joints. That's my problem.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
I'm using the Quest combination, not just through a Valve thing. So the play spaces will jump out of place.
Yeah, I personally for full body use the Vive trackers and an index. Many times in which they'll lose tracking and a leg will just shoot up in the air, up by my ear, become a new arm or something.
Torch.
Right.
Torch. On what you learned.
And now my face is frozen. Sorry. Why is my face frozen?
Wow, hold on. I'll go get some firewood. I'll warm up the place. It might be a little chilly around here. Looks like snow on the ground.
like
Maybe that's what's floating in the air. Snow? Anything's possible.
Looks like your face unfroze now.
Nope. It's well, the thing is I'm using face tracking, so it just stopped working.
I take it you're using the Quest 3
I
then.
don't know why. No, Quest Pro.
Oh
well, whatever.
Question for you: how is the Quest Pro? Is it worth for the face tracking?
If it were dropped down to maybe 750, I would say sure, but $1,000, it could be. I wouldn't necessarily, recommend it at that price.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You had a question?
Torch. Yeah, Torch. When you do the stuff you do in here, in VR itself, has it any learning experience from being in here? Have you ever thought of doing it in the real world? Has any of that knowledge helped you in the real world?
I know the improv I've learned has helped me in at least my job, a little bit more, I work my real life job. I'm a seafood supervisor at a store, and it just kind of helps with the whole customer service thing in the sense that you can just kind of, it helps you move things along a little. I don't know if you've ever worked in there. I don't recommend it.
Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. You might get a can. It's a real bitch.
Well, yeah, it's just retail will suck the soul out of you, quite literally.
Yep, sure does. I've heard a lot of that. I've heard a lot of people say, you get into retail, guess what? Hopefully you got a Band-Aid, because it's going to hurt on the way down if it does go bad. I've heard that quite a bit. So.
Indeed. Yeah.
I do hope. I do hope eventually the we build up to kind of like one of our goals is with like if you've seen the VCAT events, is to reach a point of possibly being sponsored with the project community, so the team can produce higher quality content because they'll be, able to, finance themselves and whatnot, so they can focus on everything there.
Well, I think probably the best
Yeah.
thing is to do like crowdfunding with like Patreon and things of that nature and produce out so that way I'm sure the people who show up to your events would be more than happy to.
We do have a Ko-fi open right now, and
Hmm.
yeah, there's a little bit trickling in from what I can tell. I don't handle the finance part of it, so I don't know that information. But I mean, that's we're just working on building up the foundation right now. Again, we still gotta flesh out all of the branding, the events, and getting a proper like production calendar going and whatnot.
So what has been some of your guys' hopes that project community would become?
Uh, Hopefully, just a place that people can come to like and learn about all of the different fantastic things that the player base brings into VRChat. So we can showcase what I mean. We put in the love because everyone else is showing us the love with how much work that they put in. It's just amazing to see how far VRChat has evolved, especially in just a matter of time that I've been here since 2019. It's just crazy to see how much has changed over that. Just feels like such a short amount of time.
Cool.
And
Oh, we got somebody here picking the flowers again.
Oh, we're in a public.
Wow. You did a
makes it
boo-boo,
more
Lion.
interesting.
And yes,
All right,
enjoy
all
the
right.
flower picking.
Give me 1 second. I gotta do a full.
Jeez,
I gotta do a
think
full
that-
recalibration.
It's fine, my God, Lion. What? Oh shit! It's a public. Yeah, you think so? Oh, that's cool. No problem. Hey, what at? Why not? What the hell? Have fun with it. Hope somebody else comes by and we can say hi to them.
While we're here, so why stop
now?
now?
It's here. No, yep, don't stop now. Wonder how many more people. Maybe I can get somebody to bring me pizza and a beer, knowing I don't drink beer.
I don't think so, Raptor.
That person went.
They went off to
I
explore
can
the
always
world.
hope.
Believe it or not, Raptor, this is a
I
pretty
know, but-
large world. Like, there's a lot to explore here. Easter eggs and so on.
I haven't looked in here yet. Get homed around into it. I'll have to. But yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I had a few
And thanks
chances
for the person who made.
Yeah, I had a chance
You
to
can shrink down in this world, right?
I think so, yeah.
You think?
I believe Myro took me here and showed me around a bit because apparently the person who made this world he looks up to. It's one of his favorite content creators, and apparently there's lots of little things to find. There's a little hidden room that you have to go find. There's a whole bunch of cool things here. It's a pretty big explorable map.
Ah, cool. Thank you, sir, or female, whoever you might be, because I haven't seen the name yet, because I just got here. So yeah. Thank you
My
again.
chair, so hopefully it's in better tracking area here.
Looks
Just
like you're
don't miss
having
it.
quite a lot of trouble over there with your tracking.
Like I said, it's probably just because of where I'm sitting in my room or something. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah. With a lot of tracking, it's
one of the communities that
sorry.
yeah, that I mean, no, you're fine. Is that that is the trans community has been very supportive and whatnot. Is because one of my good friends here in VRChat, Walgazik, is she's trans, and no, I don't. I'm not exactly in a place where it's exactly welcome, that sort of thing in real life and whatnot. So being able to explore and have like-minded individuals or people going through similar experiences has been very helpful for me, and very eye-opening to the point where it prompted a lot of changes in my own life, like I've been suffering from a lot of like, I don't know why, depression and whatnot. And when I had, interacting with a lot of people here, it prompted a very positive change in my own life. Like, um, at the beginning of 2020, I was about 417 pounds.
Mm.
Now I'm about, I went down as much as 230.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but
Wow.
been due to certain medication, it's also caused a weight gain recently. So I'm working with my doctors to get back down again. But yes, still pretty down there. Compared to that, it's been a life changing experience when you have that. Finally something that helps you make sense of a lot.
Mm. And that's quite impressive of you to do. So kudos to you for putting that much effort into it. It must have been a lot of work to get
Nice
there.
job. Hey, Torch, I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question. Since you've been in here and what you're talking about and everything else, has that helped you in your situation that you're talking about and everything else that you just said? Has that helped you where you know you've got friends that understand that situation compared to the real world? You've noticed that. I've noticed that in here. People are a little different and a little more supportive and stuff like that.
It's it's kind of like I would like I'm sure you've heard some of the comparisons like VRChat's like a physical almost like representation of like an online form almost. You've got people who are supportive, but now you've got that kind of a little bit more in-depth interaction, more of that face-to-face and body language. um, so yeah, that's been very helpful. And unfortunately, though, you also get the other end of it with the other not so positive side of things though too. So I've been
Mm.
exposed to that side a lot more too.
Mm. Yeah, unfortunately, with anything related to the internet, you can't have one without the other. I believe the saying is every light casts a shadow. So unfortunately, no matter where you go in life, especially online, you can't avoid those things. And I am sorry you were subjected to those things.
It's if anything, you just kind of the more you're in a sense, you shouldn't have to be exposed to it, but you kind of learn to grow and deal with it, and
Mm.
you know who you can turn to in those situations as well.
Mm. Okay. Cool. Well, what kinds of has so VRChat's helped you a lot out in your personal life then? What you were mentioning that because of VRChat or something involved, you were prompted your change. What what
Hmm.
was that thing that helped prompt your change?
Just being around, I didn't exactly know what at that point in time, I didn't wasn't exposed to enough of the idea of what is being transgender and whatnot like that. So the more it prompted me to learn, and I'm like, is this why I've been so miserable growing up and whatnot, and just feeling this the what I guess is religious shame and whatnot and things like that have been telling me to believe a certain way, it has to be this way kind of thing. And no, not necessarily, it doesn't.
Mm.
And so yeah, it's been it's like when I came to this moment or epiphany or whatever, it felt like I was having a panic attack and I wanted everything to change immediately. But
Mm.
in order to make certain changes, I felt like, okay, well, one step at a time. Let's get healthier first, and work on, dropping the weight so I can do the other things first.
Mm. Okay. So how has VRChat helped you decide that then?
Mm. Just, trying to reflect, I guess the having the I guess the support there that the people are here for, and getting feedback that's been helpful with friends. It's kind of like a almost like a second family that I can really confide in with
Mm.
things that I can't do IRL, and they've given me feedback of like maybe certain dietary suggestions or good workout routines to try, things like that. I really also want to try the Mighty Gym. I don't know if you've seen that in VRChat. Part of yeah, it was VRCon 2022. I had to film that because it was one of the events listed, and that was we didn't know what that was like at first, because it was just they gave off this vibe. It was just a typical gym, instructor experience type of thing, but it is not. And the camera crew was we were struggling to keep up.
So what was it like? I remember hearing the Mighty Gym around. I've seen them on the internet. I've seen them on Twitter. I've seen a few different things with them. What are they, and what was the event like?
So they started out like, your typical kind of, I guess, gym experience. They're showing us, oh, this is a gym, there's treadmills and whatever, and they had us, they had them do push-ups and jumping jacks and things like that. But then they're like, you know what, we're in VR, let's, and then they spawn a bunch of hammers and they have you just destroy the gym. Um, and then like they have you go like I'm sure it changes. They probably have developed the program a lot more since I saw it last. But they had the the attendees in this session like um swim across an entire like lake or something like that. And like, how are we going to do this while filming? We're supposed to, but we have to also swim across. So that was also a kind of a learning experience with the camera team. It's like, all right, you stay on the shore, we'll swim on ahead, and you just keep the shot of everybody going there, and we'll try and get across, and then we'll cut to the other person who's already on the other side.
So they have.
And then they ended up sorry. And then there was like a Flappy Bird section where, they have people actually flapping their arms to fly around. And then there was like an actual boss battle where they're like, flinging things at a boss of some sort.
Oh.
And then, yeah.
That'd suck. They'd pick me up and throw me. No, I don't want to go there. Oh.
Well, Raptor, they could always do squats on you.
Now you're getting.
For some reason, within that instance, my brain came back to Up Butt Coconut, a really old YouTube video. Don't mind me.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You made me do a coconut now. Whoa, alrighty. No problem. Okay, gotcha.
Well, Raptor, we're in VRChat. To some degree, you and I are both nuts.
Hey. At least you didn't put me down as a small walnut. At least you went with a big nut. I'll give you that much.
That actually sounds pretty cool with the VR gym. How they incorporate the various movements and stuff you can do to keep people active. It's actually really cool that there are other things like that. I also remember seeing there's a few yoga studios in here as well that do events also.
Yeah, definitely.
I believe there's one a friend of our Shios took us to. It's like a VRChat version of like goat yoga. Little NPC goats running around while you do yoga.
I remember that. Oh my god, the shit we did. Oh my god. Oh my god, that sucked so bad, but it was funnier and shit. Oh boy. Long story short, we won't go down that road. Or again.
Let me guess. Best equivalent to we're not rated for that content.
Yes. What he said.
Sounds like a bad time to explain that.
Here we go with this crap again. Oh, God, the same shit we did there. We were doing all stories and stupid puns with the goats. Poor goats.
Okay.
Poor goats.
So, what other groups did you learn about that stuck with you during your time with the different groups you've been working with?
different groups in general that I've just come across. The Helping Hands group,
Hmm.
the various different club scenes. I generally don't go to the raves and whatnot, but I know that they're there. And I started when I was doing my list. That was like the longest category I found. And like it just kept going and going and going, and I'm like, oh gosh, does it ever end?
Mm.
And then trying to think what else. There's the Saturday Squats group. There's What's in the Box, run by Naticus. Uh, I don't know. Have you ever heard of What's in the Box?
I have never heard of What's in the Box. It's new to me. What is What's in the Box?
So this I don't know how many times, but now it's a monthly. I believe it's still a monthly thing that he does, where it's a group, a team trivia game in VRChat, where a bunch of people will get together. You can sign up your team, and they come up with like these different trivias where there's a bunch of different trivia things inside these boxes. Either it'll be an image or a sound usually,
Mm.
and you have to match that with the item on these like pedestals. And it has to be in a certain order or whatever. One pedestal will light up here at one at a time, and if you match it, then the next pedestal will light up or open up, and then you have to match that one with whatever the box is inside the box or a sound or whatever. Like maybe it'll be like you match a musical artist to whatever you're hearing,
Mm.
and you put that in there, or you match like the name of a location, like a geographical location, versus what you're seeing in the box, like a picture of it or something like that. I remember one time they were doing Monster Hunter monsters in there. It's like the name of a monster, and then you had to go in the box and see what picture it is.
Mm.
And there's 9 different levels of trivia that you have to go to because you're going through 9 different levels of hell.
Mm.
And it's just a team thing where you're going as fast as you can, and if you match the wrong thing, then spikes of ice come up, and you have to wait until the spikes go back down, and that cuts into your time. So you go trying to go as fast as you can.
Okay. Sounds like a combination of like that Drawfee game with trivia. So how do you try and guess what the item is?
Well, if you don't know, then it's just a matter of if you can find somebody who does know in your team, or we do it. If you've got a good organized team, everybody's grabbing a box or 2 boxes, and you're testing it one at a time as fast as you can. Which one it is, and just do a process of elimination.
Okay. So they have other boxes you match it with. Okay. That's actually
Yeah,
really
there's a
cool.
bunch of different boxes. Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool. There are a lot of groups like that I've kind of heard of, but also I've only seen them in passing. Like one that stuck with me like earlier on that I found, or I was introduced to by an old friend of mine, Hexen, was the neon man of all times. I forget the name. It's a laser dome. There we go, laser dome, and how they run events
Oh,
themselves.
Cyrix.
Yeah, Hexen introduced me to those guys and introduced me to the whole event. So I thought it was cool, a laser dome arena thing in VR. It was pretty cool.
Did you get to try the Worms Avi Wars world?
No, but we've heard a lot about it. Hearing that brings me back to my childhood, back to PS1. Yes, I know I'm old. Shut it.
Yeah, that was one of the events that was held at the first project festival event was an Avi Wars to help showcase this world that is fantastic.
Hmm.
I was terrible at it when I was trying it.
Does it run a lot like the old PS1 game, or is it like its own unique thing here?
It's a combination of both. So when you're watching it, it looks like Worms. You're watching somebody. You're watching them move across in a 2D plane.
Mm.
But when it's your turn, you are in that perspective.
Hmm.
You are put there, and you're actually aiming and moving around on the map. And yeah, so that was pretty wild, and sucks if you suck at aiming in that.
Hmm. Sounds really cool. Sounds like a really dope thing to put into VR. Worms. Whoever did that, you're an amazing person. Oh, you know, it's. Oop, you first. You had a thought.
No, I didn't. I was just moving around.
Oh, people like that who try and recreate games in VR, they're such amazing people to do that. Like, I remember seeing some people rebuilding the maps for, like, Majora's Mask. Then there's some people who rebuild Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time maps. And it's people like that, I think, that add to the world scene that are to a unique way. Especially when you, like, if you used to play, like, Majora's Mask or Worms, for example, as a child, and you go into that world and you immediately just hit with this nostalgia immediately. It's a wonderful thing. Mm. Oh.
It reminds me of actually, as far as like world preservation. It's like when we were walking through a virtual museum.
Mm.
Um, I originally like my first virtual home or digital home was I would say was PlayStation Home,
Mm.
and that's where I feel like a lot of my origins of trying to grow and figure out this identity started.
Mm.
And I found some worlds that a few people have uploaded that are from PlayStation Home that are here.
Mm.
And that's pretty cool to see.
Mm. Yeah. So I've also seen some people from Meta put in the Meta worlds, as Meta homes as well. Like, there's like a space station also that's in here made for
Oh
Meta.
gosh.
Yeah, it's here. Also not optimized that well.
Yeah, I remember one of our media meetings, we ended up actually going to a desert oasis world, and that's the world that I log into on the Quest Pro, and I'm like, oh God, why am I here? It's like I'm in the Quest, but then I'm in VRChat, and then I'm back in the Quest.
Questception. Cue Twilight Zone theme song. Today. Today in the Twilight Zone. Sorry, I had to do it. So
You have entered the scary door.
That's better than the fox in the box and doesn't eat green eggs and ham, right? Same I am.
I don't need to be reminded of childhood books. Please stop.
Sounded good to me.
Yeah. Oh, so what have been some things that outside the project community that you found that stuck with you as well? Like things you've wandered into or that you still do now?
One of the things I still do now is I actually go out into the big, scary public instances to help kind of nurture a more positive environment that I did not have when I first came in VRChat. Because, I'm sure if you first came in, it was kind of like, you see a lot of unfiltered, uncensored content out there.
Yep.
And it can, as a first, time person, who's maybe, not used to that sort of thing, it might scare them away.
Mm.
So, I try and go out there and even, well, I have my own VRChat group so I can moderate those instances. It's just called This Instance is Rated E for Everyone. So,
So I've seen a few public
I mean,
groups do similar
yeah.
things. How easy is it to moderate a public group like that? And I know there's a few of them like Sleepy Furs and a few other groups like that'll like have public moderated instances, and I think that's a wonderful thing to do. Like, especially with you doing it, I think it's a really good way to keep things, I guess, not cancer.
Well, that, and I tried, provide, like, if you go into the Black Cat, a lot of people didn't know, and they still don't know that, the advertisements you see there are for actual groups, for actual events and whatnot, and they just think it's just part of the ambience. So,
Mm.
kind of let them know that this place is alive. It's not, well, I mean, it is a game, but for some of us, it's not just a game. And so yeah, it's been kind of neat to watch, some people like, oh, I didn't know that this existed. I've been playing this game for X amount of time and I still didn't know. I just hang out in front of a mirror with friends and, you know, um, get imbibed and things like that.
Have you or someone you know been caught with a horrible disease called mirror dwelling? Please call 1-800-VRChat in order to get your compensation now. Sorry, I have a crappy sense.
Oh my God! My case is you just stand in front of the mirror and you turn around and face the other direction, and people go, "You're a Miller. You're staring at the mirror." It's behind me, dude. I'm not. I'm looking at the public people that are coming into the place, but it's still on.
Hope that's not a real number, and I hope
but
people
my
don't call
luck.
it.
But your luck, yeah. Oh boy.
I can only
Somebody
imagine.
going, who in the hell's calling us?
I can imagine like the VRChat headquarters and a bunch of people just begin calling. You need to cure the mirror dwelling disease, and just get a bunch of calls by random people. I need compensation. Yeah. So is it an easy thing to do to moderate a public instance like that and helping people along?
Generally, most people are behaved, and there's, when you have an instance like that, it's tends to be okay. Very rarely do you run into the really, darker side that people want to just cut loose or something like that. I mean, even ever since the EAC update, I've seen even far fewer, troublemakers. They're still out there. I've still seen them, but I guess the client modification is far less accessible now.
I've heard,
and the behavior, yeah, is a lot better from the the people who are, I guess, a lot of the avatars that are, I don't see a lot of the racist as much avatars, the very bigoted ones, or the ones that are just the ghost avatars, the very pointy ghosts. If you know what I mean.
The spicy priests. Yes, I'm very aware.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spicy priest. Okay. I didn't know that. Like that. I'm like, yeah, spicy priest. Okay, yes.
I've heard a few things about that community since the whole EAC. I've heard some people say they're in chill out now. I heard some people say they quit. Though I've also heard some other people say EAC was circumvented within 24 hours. So I'm sure that all depends on where you look. But there has been a gradual decrease in everything, and I've been pro EAC since the start. It's nice to be able to sit in a fur hub or a black hat and not worry about watching VRChat just crash. It's been amazing.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's been overall a benefit to everyone. The initial relaunch, yes, I felt like it could have been better handled, but overall it has been beneficial.
Well, like most things, I'm sure it just takes time to sink in. And like the groups moderating public instances like what you do, I'm sure with time as well, they'll get a lot more safer and better for public as well. And hopefully it won't be a lot of work on you.
It's not too bad. I guess it's more of a mental toll on things. You only have so much sanity. I guess I don't know how that's measured. Whatever. I guess the other term is spoons. And I'm more introverted, but again, I feel like this VRChat has given me so much that I want to give back and help those who avoid the certain situations that I ran into.
So has VRChat helped you become more social in real life as well as VR?
Not really, actually. It's helped me stand the confidence that I've gained in here has helped me stand my ground more in real life. And it actually, I've removed more toxic individuals in my life because of that.
Okay.
Realizing that they are toxic. I didn't, I'm just kind of a doormat, and you just kind of just take it because these are the only people in your life. But now, I'm kind of like, I don't have to take it.
Mm. Okay. I'm glad to hear that VRChat's capable of giving you confidence and the ability to stand for yourself. I've heard a lot of people say similar stories, like off the air, mind you, where they're like they came into VRChat and they've completely changed. And I'm glad that VRChat's able to do that for you as well. Uh, it's a fantastic thing. VRChat is. It's quite unique. Hmm.
Yes.
Indeed, spicy priests and all. VRChat has done a lot of good things. Hmm. Sorry, I have a broken sense of humor.
No, no, it's fine.
Hmm.
Well, then, if we can fix it with some improv, then, right?
You don't want me on improv, I'll tell you.
Hey, everybody learn. Everybody starts somewhere. That's the Skits and Bits group is one that after Gob's Improv kind of dissolved,
Hmm.
the the group that pretty much made after Goblox left the platform, they got together and continued as Skits and Bits, and so they continue the workshops every week.
Hmm.
And do other things. And there's been a lot more, I feel like, openness, a lot of more collaboration now.
Hmm.
I see other improv groups popping up, the improv nights, the improvatars in VRChat. And that's fantastic to see that there's so many different, even in the improv community, different styles and ways that they approach things.
Hmm. Okay. So when does Skits and Bits do the exact same thing as the old exoskeleton?
Not exactly. I mean, they do it used to be run, kind of hosted, everything under one individual, but now it's kind of branched out with more like team hosts, and again, more styles of everybody having their own way of presenting, or um, different perspective on improv, and bringing that for everybody to try. And then, now they're doing like, trying to do little small improv, like films,
Hmm.
and different, I know one of them have introduced a narrative form, or the long form improv classes
Hmm.
and whatnot. And that's been, I haven't actually gotten to attend to those, but I've heard some the feedback from it that's been really positive.
Hmm.
And then one of the other longtime participants now has been introducing indie improv team nights,
Hmm.
to where you get a little small group, and you just show what you've been working on, or just kind of do something in your own style on the stage. And I don't know if you've seen, have you watched the virtual reality show Fia?
I've seen bits and pieces of her stuff. Yes, I'm not one of those people that spends an awful lot of time watching a bunch of internet content. I'm one of those people who's like, "Ooh, cool tech. Let's look at tech." And I just, unfortunately, I'm kind of. But I have seen Fia's stuff pop up, and I've watched a bit of the virtual reality show as well, and it's a fantastic thing.
Well, if you so one of the most recent collaboration events was with Skits and Bits Improv, and they put on a
Mm.
murder mystery event.
Mm.
Um, that if you've ever been in real life, that's kind of like a big old thing where you figure out who's done it, and there are people who are in character,
Mm.
doing and putting on this event. And so that was fantastic to watch that all unfold in VR at the virtual reality studio. Yeah, it was, and everybody did a fantastic job in their own roles, and they had worked and been rehearsing for a while with their team back and forth,
Mm.
and put on a phenomenal event. You can watch it on their YouTube and whatnot if you want to check it out.
Mm. That's so Skits and Bits with them did like uh, how do I put it? A virtual experience, I guess. instead of like a play per se.
Yeah, well, I mean, more of a that interactive style, like going to if you've ever been to like a Renaissance fair or something like that, where people
Ah,
are in character or like a can like a everybody's got a role. They're if you've ever been to Disneyland, when people are in character and whatnot and things like that. So yeah, it is an interactive experience. If you've ever been to any of the events of the Rain Dance Immersion Festival, they also have events that are more immersive and things like that.
oh
I
wow.
know I went to one last year, and that was held here in VRChat. I forget what it was called, but it was kind of like they put you in like a stage area, you're like a show, but then they drop you into like the Wild West, and then it gets overrun by like robot AIs, and that was pretty funny to watch.
Sounds pretty awesome. You know, I didn't know there was like immersive virtual experiences in VR chat. Honestly, I didn't even know people are doing things like that here. That's pretty awesome. I'd go check one of those out. Oh,
I think over Halloween, the DPS community, the Dimensional Postal Service, I think they did a haunted house, some sort of haunted experience. I didn't get a chance. You have to ask them about that. But from what I would heard, it was, I guess, being somewhat rehearsed and whatnot. People are getting involved with that.
hmm.
The one of the other events that we did for the festival, and then also for HorrorCon, was a PvP event. The one at festival was just kind of everybody cutting loose, having fun. I believe the one at HorrorCon was a little bit more scripted for people to watch and observe, but still, a lot can happen and go any which way, regardless.
Hmm. Wow. I live under a big rock raptor.
The hell do you think I live under? Toothpick or toothbrush?
You live under the same rock raptor. We're roommates. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I haven't got around to that end of the rock. Takes forever. It's a real bitch.
um,
I wish it'd come with a map. GPS sucks.
by the way, if you don't know, Raptor's avatar is small.
Not really. I'm tall. What are you talking about? I'm tall. It ain't my fault you fucking took that. You ate the cookie. It said grow me instead of shrink me. What the hell's wrong with you?
I mean, I don't know about you, but I believe, according to the years that I've been in VR chat, the evolutionary chart says that he's about average.
Average. Avatar's about that size is average?
Well, eventually, maybe in about half an hour from now.
Fair.
Half an hour. Hey, I get a half an hour of being average. Wow, I'm gonna enjoy that. Usually people think I'm off my
And
rocker.
then, it'll just, everybody will just keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, or they will, conversely, you'll just be ginormous. Just
Yes, the very recent VRChat mutation, which allows people to change size at will. A funny mutation. Yeah.
Scary mostly. Anytime I get bigger, people look at me going, please go back to the size you were. I don't know why. This is not
No,
used
it doesn't
to.
happen like that as much as you think they do. People don't mind your size.
No. No. But it is weird to see me running around. I've been like this for 4 years.
Hmm.
I forgot to grow me, weed me grow. Where the hell to go? I need the pill.
Hmm.
And this is the part where we cut it out of context, and they're like, "Why are they talking about sizes?"
Hmm. Cue funny pissing contest.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. Which way's the wind blowing? I don't want to shower.
Wait, wasn't there?
I already paid my water bill.
I'm gonna make a short out of this at some point. There's a funny little fake commercial where it's like people measuring sizes in comparison. I'll just cut that in right after you said it. When we're talking about measuring sizes, I'll do that, then cut in Raptor's little comment.
Thanks. Gotta love your friends. They're so great in here. They'll do anything for you. To a point. I'll correct myself on that one. To a point.
Say anything. Do you actually want to do that?
No. Are you nuts? What the hell? Man, there's a lot of
Look at
weed
me,
here,
Raptor.
but quit smoking it and grow it. I'm always looking at you, right? I'm looking at. Sorry, Torch. We get a little rampated once in a while. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries. You're fine.
I'll throw rocks at him later and find the nearest tree branch I can actually pick up and beat him with it. No problem. Knowing it's probably going to be a small twig.
Indeed. Well, I think from here we are going to cut it. Is there any way people can find you? Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Flash the bat signal. No.
Flash the bat signal.
Let me see here. Where's
I've never heard that one before in a long time. That is so cool.
So project community. You can find the group in VRChat. It's PJKT.3741. And let me see here. The Discord is discord.gg/PJKT. Skits and Bits also has a group. It's SNB4752. And their Discord is discord/GG skits n bits. Just the letter N in between, just one word. And let's see here. Where is it? I think I have it. The Rack Pack here, yes. If you want to catch Rack Pack Improv, they do the charity show every Sunday. This year it's Feeding America. That's the focus. Last month it was the Trevor Project. We raised over $1,000. It was pretty cool. Rack Pack's VRChat group is RACPAK.4108. And the Discord is discord.gg/rackpack. That's RACCPACK. Any other groups?
Nope.
I don't remember. No Friends Club is discord.gg/NFFC or the VRChat group NFFC.9364.
Wow.
And if there's something else that you're looking for, let me know. I'm all over the place. I try to, get people connected. That's, again, I'm going into public places just to see what other people's interests are so I can get them connected to what they like.
Okay. Again, thank you very much for your time there, Torch. We appreciate it greatly that you took the time to speak with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Torch.
Well, thank you for having me.
Nope.
Yeah, thank you for getting these, people out there. It's fantastic, and so many people, that just are doing things and just, bringing VRChat to life and just the social VR scene in general.
Well, it's been lots of fun. Raptor, close us out.
And on that note, folks, this is a big world. But look on the bright side. You never find me in a corner. There's too many trees for me to hide. You have a good one, folks. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Check under the other side of the rock.